Hello everyone. Today the topic that I had chose to talk about is side rails. Specifically side rails in a skilled nursing or nursing home setting. I know that this topic is really being spoken about lately in new regulations and them overall being considered a restraint. This topic, I try to see both sides. I do feel like the side rails are a very important aspect in our setting. And I don't feel like you can easily say take them all off or leave them all on or they're all a restraint. I feel like it is patient specific. We need to assess each patient to see if it's benefiting the patient or not. Is it safe for the patient or not? Is it considered a restraint for this patient or not? I feel like sometimes these steps are not taken. So say for instance, we have a patient who is dependent, maybe from the waist down. So they're, paralyzed. And the only way that this patient is able to reposition himself independently and still having that sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? That sense that he can still do, he or she or they can still do that little bit for themselves. It's like dignity in a way that they're able to not solely being 100% dependent on a caregiver or nurses or nurses' aides. They can still pull themselves up and reposition them using that side rail and in other aspects. So it's going to be considered a restraint. So if they take those rails off, then we have completely taken away that independence, that little bit of independence that this patient has had, taken it away from them. Or what about our seizure patients? What about not being able to put the padding on the side rails, to protect our patients? That's not allowing them to do that. But at the same time, I understand, and we should understand that in some cases it can be considered a restraint for our patients that are trying to get out of bed and they have the potential to fall. But then there's a talk also about what's gonna cause more injury, having the patient fall over a side rail that's up, preventing them to get off independently, or having them fall from a side rail that's down. So this topic is very interesting to me, I believe, because there's so many aspects, so many medical conditions that require them, so many broad. It's very broad. Like you have to really. That's why I really truly believe that it needs to be patient specific, and we can't just assume that all side rails need to come off because they're a restraint. Although people will argue the point that there's proven times where they have patients suffocated, patients have, gotten their limbs stuck in the side of them, which is all great feedback and all, they have that supporting documents and supporting statements that support their judgment that way. But then they also do a lot of good and, help our patients that are losing that, that function and give them that little bit of independence and have a little bit of dignity to allow them to do that. So I can go on and on and on about this topic. There's so much more that I would like to talk about it. So maybe at another time I'll get the opportunity to do that. Thank you and have a good night.